That's Andy's master plan.
Bro, you just ousted yourself as some secret evil villain, bro. The whole point of this podcast, bro, he's grooming us, bro. He's grooming you and I, bro.
Krishn, I went over his house like not too long ago, and he was like, "Oh, you know what I was actually planning to do? Like, I was getting a custom keyboard." And then we had a chat. I'm like, "Bro, I didn't know my brother was doing it as well." I went home and I found out my brother was also trying to build his custom keyboard. And then me and Krishn were just having this like conversation.
So Krishn was the one who
you got it.
Got the numpad. So I'm practicing using the numpad because I used to have one that was just only like without the numpad. So I got a much longer one. It felt weird at first because I was used to having a smaller one, but yeah, I'm going to start using the numpad and stuff like Excel, I guess.
100%. Well, episode 51, I'll just knock it off. I'll just say episode 51. And we have a noticeable difference. Mr. Kevin, welcome. It's been a long time. The thing is, when we started this a year ago, we said, Kevin, like we were in the car talking, Kevin's in the back just dying, he's just dead, right? He's sleeping, and we're just going back and forth. Every now and then Kevin will wake up in 5 minutes and be like, yeah. And he agreed, he'd come on and say, yeah, I'll come on, like maybe 4 episodes in, help out and everything. 4 episodes in, didn't really get around to it. 50 episodes in, we made it. He's here. Welcome, Kevin. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it, brother. I don't want to make it too formal, but at the same time, I still want to say thank you.
Nah, it was long overdue. Like with Andy and you, Krishn, it was a long time coming. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to be on the show.
Kev, when you joined the call, like I had instant nostalgia of back in our days where we were on Skype calls every week. Like every week, since we were like working together, we'll jump on these Skype calls, we'll review the numbers, do the invoicing, go through past calls. Super nostalgic, yeah.
Yeah, it used to be every week. So, and then all of a sudden we haven't done it in a long time because, when I joined the call as well, just seeing your face was like nostalgic through a camera lens.
When was the last time?
I think early beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Like 8-9 months ago.
Yeah.
Was probably the last time.
In that 9 months, you've grown a lot, brother. You've grown a lot in terms of what you've done, what you've learned, and everything, and the job that you have. So it just goes to show, like last episode that we did a before and after. Essentially, we reacted to clips that we had for our very first episode, and I was just thinking about the whole time as well. Like, dude, we're so different people and everything. It's just crazy. Like you can always see it, like from a year ago. But I'm sure, Andy, you might have some recordings of Kevin way back in the day, being a fresh sales student, bro. You can use that to train all your students.
Even back then, it was so bad.
One thing I was thinking about, what's your thought? I want to get Krishn's thought on it. Kevin was I think Kevin graduated university last year, end of year, and Kevin, you were so chill. And you're just cruising along, we're working together. And then just when everyone's starting to get a job and everyone's stressing, just when the cutoffs happen, you got a job at the beginning of the year and you're in the workforce. And everyone has been 6 months in, Krishn has been just applying for freaking jobs early on, but you found a way. And I think that's something that I always found that was I really admired from you, Kevin. You're always really chill and things sort of worked out. And I think one, it's a mixture of when you're too stressed out, opportunities won't come, and two, you're really present when you didn't you weren't too stressed about things and it worked out, and it usually always does. What's your thoughts, Kev? That's something I always admired.
So while I was trying to finish uni, obviously I wanted to get a full-time job. I had other plans as well, with my dad. What I initially wanted to do before all this COVID hit was actually go to Vietnam for a year or two, work with my dad. So that's why I wasn't too stressed. But, when that happened, my other option was, I just finished my degree. Let's try to get a full-time job, learn as much as I can while I'm here. And then, later on, 2 years' time, 3 years' time, we'll see where we go from there. Where I move up in corporate or figure out my own way of starting a new business. So, that's why I wasn't too stressed. I had, plan B, plan C. But, everything just kind of worked out where, kind of new people that helped me out to get me into this job. but I was still looking. Like it wasn't like I wasn't like very stressed. Yeah.
Kev, how's Dad? Happy Father's Day. Happy Father. Today is the 5th of September, 2021. Happy Father's Day. How's Dad? Have you spoken to him recently? Because he's in Vietnam, mate. Like, because you haven't seen, he can't come, you can't go. It's a sticky one, isn't it? Like, COVID implications.
So he's actually Australian citizen, so he can actually come back.
Oh,
because
okay.
he runs his own business. Like the quarantine coming back here, he has to quarantine for two weeks, and then he wants to stay for like a couple months because he hasn't seen us for like 2 or 3 years now. And then we usually go every year, so he would normally come back at least 3 times a year. We'll go there at least twice or once a year, but we haven't seen each other for like 2 years now. So
it'll be interesting because sorry, continue.
Yeah, so he's actually planning to come back end of this year. So for 3 months.
Amazing. Yeah.
And he's gonna I think he's gonna take an extended break from work because he's kind of let them know so that he can do it end of the year. Right, which I'm excited about. Yeah.
That's the thing with quarantine, because he has to quarantine. It's one of those things where you either come for 3 months or like you can't come for a month anymore, right? You come for either 3 months or you don't come because 4 weeks or 2 weeks is it's not worth it at all. So it's good that he comes. But now that you've had your foot in the door, you've had a job, a 9 to 5. We call it over here. We call it the rat race. You nearly a year now. Your dad's there. Your dad's got a business. You're stuck in the fork. You got 2 ways going in front of you. You're like left or right doesn't really matter in terms of you can't make a wrong choice. What do you reckon? What do you reckon you'd be more enticed into following? Because at the end of the day, let's be real. It's not the best working for someone else. If you want to work for someone, you want to work for your own. And obviously, as long as it means that you're getting good fruits of your labor, you know what I mean? So like Andy's doing it. I'm not doing it. You have a choice to do it. So what do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I agree. This is essentially like the rat race, like working 9 to 5. It's not as bad as everyone thinks it is because you got to start somewhere. You actually got to start somewhere. Like a lot of us, finishing high school, even if they don't go uni, they still do 9 to 5 anyways. As a tradie, working at an office job. But you got to start somewhere before you can kind of branch out. Like I'm sure even Andy knows kind of that. Like before he even started doing his own business, he ran his own business. He had to become like that swimming instructor and then also work as a tutor, right? At McDonald's. So you kind of understand. So everyone kind of understands. So you can't just jump straight into like, oh yeah, I'm going to run a business without knowing what it is like on the other side. But that's exactly why I'm, doing this 9 to 5 now, joining corporate, kind of learn and use the best of my time. So that whenever I do choose, either if I stay in the corporate world, 9 to 5, I want to move up high. Or if I do choose to branch out somewhere else, have all the necessary skills to do that, improve my sales skills, leadership, interpersonal skills as well. So for me to actually take that next step, if I do start something.
Dude, before I started this podcast, my next door neighbor, his son came visit his next door neighbor and he was just doing the garden. I was like, hey Zenon, how are things been? I got like 10 minutes before I jump on this podcast and I was just talking to him. And I found out that he works in this like freaking firm. I don't know, it's like some SJ firm, I don't know. It's like, and his position is, he's like, does accounting, he manages all the finance, the cash flows, deals the relationship with the banks for the loans for the company. And I think maybe they're like an investment company. So he's pretty high up and he manages all the risk and he has to think 5-10 steps ahead. And I was legit, for that 10 minutes, I was just downloading information. I was just like asking a bunch of questions, downloading everything like a robot. I was thinking, I was like, this is like what Krishn's going to eventually sort of do. Like it's like finance, like sort of investing, sort of startup-ish like. And then my master plan, guys, I'll tell you guys my master plan. My master plan is in 10 years time when you guys are beasts. I'm going to put you guys and we're going to all work together. I'm going to put you guys and then we're going to work together and we're going to build a massive thing. That's the master plan. You guys skill up in these companies because I can't afford to skill you guys up because I don't have enough money now. So let the companies make you full. And when you guys are these fat sort of like, I don't know, I'm just thinking of Hansel and Gretel. I'll just like take you in. That's the
Hansel and
master
Gretel is not the good analogy. What the hell? Bro, lure them in with sweets and cakes and then kill them.
That's Andy's master plan.
Bro, you just ousted yourself as some secret evil villain, bro. The whole point of this podcast, bro, he's grooming us, bro. He's grooming you and I, bro. He's gonna take us in and just...
What I do like, when we do kind of have these talks between like us three, even with Peter as well, like Andy's the one that kind of brings like, we can have these conversations because Andy says that type of stuff, to kind of motivate us, because when he says that stuff, it makes us want to do better, right? Because obviously we see that Andy is doing this, and then fuck, what can we do right now so that we can like, do something extraordinary later on as well.
It's funny you mentioned that, because a few episodes ago I was also saying the same thing, where like, sometimes, after a shit days of work, sometimes you do just, just sit down and just think like, okay, what can I do? Or like, how can I do something? I was spoken to Andy about it so many times personally as well, like off camera and everything, right? But it's always a question of like, what can we do? How can we do it? And you're right, like, you speak to Andy, you get all these ideas, or like you get all these thoughts, etc. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind getting poached. I have a price. Kevin has a price. We both have prices. We have prices.
Poaching guys, 6 figures each. Head the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Chief of Sales, and you guys run a whole division for me each.
It could actually work, because by that time, like, you're right, like in the sense that experience we'd have is a lot, and like the new role that I will eventually be getting into, I'll have a lot of like relationship management experience in terms of for large multinational clients. So it's like, it'll be good, we'll learn so much in our respective roles. Kevin's already on his way to being a manager. He's a big dog already nearly, so I'll hopefully learn some new things in 10 years. And then, yeah, let's see, maybe the price increases. You don't know. We have a price to our name. Kevin, bro. Kevin might already be a multi-million businessman, bro. But yeah, that's interesting. But you're right, Kevin. It's like one of those things where we're all so different, but it's interesting. That's where in diversity we find these new ideas, etc. But yeah, I rate it.
No, because in the future, like, we want to kind of learn from each other. One of us wants to be good at some other thing, some Krishn, you'll be probably better at something, and then I'll probably be better at some other things than everyone else, and then we'll come together. It'll actually work out really well, because we're not kind of meshed in the same area. You know what I mean?
One thing I was like literally thinking about this week, like 2 things. One of my goals is I want to like help like people all over. Like I want to just give education to people worldwide. I want to build this massive company. And I realized that I'm not going to be able to do it on my own. Like I'm going to need help from people that are sort of experts in their field. And that's sort of when the mentality, the thought was like what if I just like all my friends that are just doing their own thing but doing it really well, I'm going to need their help. Like my goal is so big that I can't achieve on my own, and I need others people's help. And that also came from anime as well. I was like watching anime, I was like so cool watching One Piece, how like the main character has this whole crew of like amazing people, and he can't do it on his own. You need like amazing people. So it's like a mix of that.
It's the constant, bro. It's like, the anime main character, he's depleted of energy. He doesn't know what he's gonna do. He looks around him, bro. He sees his friends, suddenly powers up to a new level. You just out of nowhere, bro. Yeah, bro. One day, bro, we'll go out for dinner. Andy will have a monologue out of nowhere. He'll just be spitting, guys, bro, friends is everything, bro. Friends is power. And then he just starts like leveling up in front of us.
Instead of Bob Toretto, family is everything. Friends is everything.
Yeah. Friends is everything. It's all about friends. Namakas. Namakas. Yeah, that's what they always say.
It's like my friends are my family, bro. Family, say no more, bro. I'll jump right in. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you first started it, I remember having a chat with you as well about your ambitions, etc. Did you ever see a point where you would have been like, I can do this by myself? Or were you always like, I need people around me, like I need help from people? Because it's one of those things, isn't it? Like I don't think it's that bad, but if you were to do it alone, but yeah, help is definitely something that would have been needed.
Yeah, I think only recently have I like started seeing that, hey, like I'm gonna need a lot of help. Like I can't do this on my own to like reach the goals and ambitions I have. I can't do it on my own, and then I need people's help. And I think that's something I want to double down on, because I'm thinking about it now, that's like a really big strength. Like a lot of CEOs, entrepreneurs, they think they could do it on their own. They try to do it on their own. They don't rely on other people. And I think that's something I want to like double down. I think I watched a bit too much anime, but like I'm gonna need all my friends' help. And I remember I had this chat with Kevin and a few of my friends a few years ago. I remember this was when I just came back from America. It was like 3 years ago, and one of my goals was like I want to like hit 1 billion. I want to do like 1 billion. And I remember I called like a few people, 1-2 people, and the response was like, man, that's going to be like a big goal. That's what one person said. And it was like, that was the type of conversation. Another friend was like, man, like, how are you going to get there? Like, how do you have, like, what if it doesn't happen? Like, how can you be so sure that's going to happen? And the third person was Kevin. And Kevin was just listening, was like, yeah, man, I think you can do it. Like, anything's possible. And Kevin was just like, he didn't have any unsureness. He was like, yeah, for sure. Dude, I don't know if you remember that, Kevin. It was like a long time ago. And the reason I did that was because I was going through this course, and it said, hey, write down your goals, tell a few people to keep you accountable. And that's what triggered me to tell my friends. I didn't know Krishn back then, but yeah.
No, I think I remember. Yeah, it was quite a long time ago. And you said that. And yeah, I was like, that's a good start, that's the end goal, but you got to have little goals to kind of reach you there. And again, nothing's impossible, Like the reason why people get to that point is because they're taking those steps. Like no one can be lucky becoming a billionaire or even a millionaire, right? They've all reached there because they've done something to kind of get to that point. Yeah.
And then to answer Krishn's question, I think back then I was in a state of like, yeah, I could probably do this on my own, but my goal has increased so much since then, where I'm like, with my new goal, I'm going to need help. I'm going to need my friends' help. I'm going to need to have really close people that I can trust around me.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you need the people you can trust. Otherwise, it just can get a bit sticky. Business is business, you know what I mean? And like, I haven't experienced it firsthand, but I'd like to think I've seen enough TV shows to see what happens in businesses when, snaky friends, people you don't trust inside, it sounds stupid, but the premise is still there, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you do you, my friend. You got to do whatever, fits your boat and works out for you. But yeah, super keen.
Dude, one thing I recently discovered was like, people always said like, this is something that you'd always hear. Always stick with your old friends. Your old friends are the OGs. You hear all the rappers talk about it. And it was like weird because like I went through a phase where I just started networking, meeting all these cool new people. And I was like, oh, like as you grow, you meet new people and you make new friends. And then sort of you maybe like let go of some old friends. You don't talk to your high school friends anymore. And I thought that was like the route. But then as I'm growing older, I'm starting to see what they mean. Because it's weird, like I do meet all these cool people, but everyone is doing their own thing. Everyone has their own ego. But your old OG friends, they're the ones that don't really like, they're supportive. They don't have any, there's not much jealousy there because they see you from the beginning. They're doing that, they're on their own path. They're not trying to compete with you. And I'm finally starting to understand that. But I think there's a mistake from like old friends. Like imagine if I just hung out with all my high school friends or something versus like old friends like you guys. It's like I have to pick certain old friends. I can't just hang out with people just because I've known them forever.
At the end of the day, the key word I reckon is OG. Like OG, original, old friends. Like it's kind of one of those things where like I don't talk to many of my old friends. High school, yeah, I still talk to my high school friends, but at the same time, I think one thing is you got to always remember, not everyone's gonna like support you in the same way that certain other people would. and they're not always gonna like, you know, like share your wins, your achievements, be there for your losses the same way. Some people might celebrate the losses and not sympathize, but like, you know, look down on the wins, etc. You know what I mean? Not saying that they do, but yeah, you're right. That's more like classification between new/old. I don't know, but OG, I get it. Like people that have been with you from the start in the terms of, you know, always stuck by no matter what.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like when not old friends, because like even with my old friends, say I had like a group of 20 people in high school, right? I'm only close to like 2 or 3 of them that I actually tell them everything, you know, and I'm like tight with them. Like, you know, including you guys as well, you know, that's what I consider like my OG old friends. But I agree. Like, you know, new people that you meet, you never know, they could be in competition with you. And you don't really see that. Whereas old friends, they're kind of on their own path, like what Andy said. And they're not there, they're, you know, they're there to bounce ideas, help you out. So, no, I agree fully there.
All right, I'm gonna segue to something really quickly. I haven't listened to any of the 2 albums yet, but we've had a big week in music this week. We had a big week in music, and a lot's happened. I just wanted to segue just before we get to interview. I mean, it's been a big week. We've had 2 heavyweight dons in rap come together. It's been kind of interesting because Drake's been promoting it heavily in Toronto with the billboards and everything everywhere. You've seen the billboards, and then Kanye started putting up some billboards adjacent to it, right? And then Drake did some in. Okay, Drake's a 34-year-old man still rapping about love. Like anyway, right? Anyway, I haven't listened to it. I want to know what you 2 think. Donda or CLB? What are your thoughts? Do you enjoy it? Are you vibing with it? What's going on?
Yeah, so I've actually listened to both of them. Like Donda, not fully. I listened to a couple of tracks here and there. I was skipping through when I was in the car. Whereas CLB, I actually listened to that yesterday, like going through the album. What my thoughts are, like, I do think they're both good, but I like CLB better. Drake.
CLB?
Yeah.
Andy?
Even though it's more of like a lovey-dovey type of album.
But not even that, because I feel like Drake, he's Drake. He knows how to make music. It doesn't matter what he releases anymore. He's literally reached like the highest of heights. Anything that he puts out, bang.
He creates trends.
Yeah, creates trends. Like, you know when he announced that album cover, everyone's like, what the is that? But what did it do? It got people talking.
Yeah.
Right? It got people talking.
Yeah.
Everyone knew about it because it's just like, bro, what? It's just the wackiest thing ever. I think Kanye would have tried to do something like that with just a plain black album cover. But at the same time, when CLB released with...
Yeah.
it's...
Or it was eyes more. That cool.
Yeah, it called people... It's like...
Even though it wasn't special, it's a bit special that no one's ever done.
You're right. It wasn't as like, it wasn't special at all, but it was more interesting than just a black canvas. And as a result, people are just like, bro, what is that? And more people saying like, what is that? What is that? What is that? It brings inevitably more intrigue to the album. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't really rate Kanye that, like, it's not that I don't rate Kanye. It's more that I've never been that into his music as much as other people have. I can appreciate the older songs, but the new album, I'm the same. I didn't listen to many songs from the new album. I listened to CLB half of it. I enjoyed a few songs here and there, but I don't know, Andy. What do you reckon? What are your thoughts on everything? Like, do you reckon Kanye's a genius, or do you reckon Drake's a genius? Surely he's one of the 2.
Dude, like Kanye, I think I was listening to every track and I just kept hearing the word Jesus. I was just not that I don't like Jesus. It was just like too religious for me. It was just like, whoa, and it was just, I think...
Wait, side note, Andy felt like he was getting indoctrinated by... He's like, bro, what's going on? I'm joining a cult. I listen to this album.
Yeah. I think Kanye's big skill is he can just create these weird melodies, these different sounds, and just really unique. But I think Drake is just good for making slaps. And I think, like, dude, in America, I don't know what it is about, like, everyone loves Drake in America. In Australia, it's a bit different. I noticed coming back, but everyone's like frothing and waiting for his next album. And like I sort of got indoctrinated into that, and I'm a big fan of Drake. I love Drake, so I am a bit biased. And listening through, I really like Drake's album. I only listened to like the first half. Still need to go through it, and I was pretty shocked of how many tracks I was like, yeah, there's a lot of tracks for me to dig into. But yeah, so far I definitely like Drake's new album over the Kanye's. Like I went through a bunch of Kanye songs. I couldn't sink into any of them. I don't know. They all sound the same. It was like it was just like some weird melody, and it's just like I don't know. It was just chanting. It felt like it was just chanting in every song.
Kevin, Andy found himself like subconsciously praying, and he goes, "Wait, what's going on?" He's like, "Shit, no, turn this album off, right?" No, but I agree with you because, like, the thing is, when an album releases, the first thing that you do is you scroll through it just to like see how many there is, then you go at the bottom and see how long it is, right? Both of them are long albums. There's no going on, but they're both long albums. So like for me to like, the way I do it is I see it initially, unless they're like an artist who I really, really like hold to a high regard, I'll like section time out of my day to really like deep the album, right? But these two, I just saw, I'm like, this is actually a mission. I don't know if I can, like, this is going to be a mission to, like, listen to the whole thing. So I'm the same. I listen to the first few tracks of Kanye's, and usually I like to listen to the whole, like, on my first listen to the whole thing through and then skip. But Kanye's, I was just like, nah, next. And then Drake's the same. I was like, nah, I can't be bothered listening to this one. Or this one has features. I'll listen to this one. You know what I mean? But, yeah, for me personally, none of the two are album of the year, but I can appreciate what they are.
What are your thoughts on like artists not showing features on their songs, kind of like Donda, like Kanye? You know how I think Travis started
dirty, I reckon.
Like it had no features, and it was just you just hear the random rappers. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I don't like it. Well, I think it's like I don't know. I think it's like you want to sort of give credit when it's due, but maybe Kanye he's built so much, like maybe he's sort of one of the goats, and he's sort of at a place where he can do that. Like Elon Musk is the point where he can take credit for every thing, and like little do you know, it's like he doesn't know how to build rockets, all right? But everyone thinks he does.
Everyone thinks he does, yeah. Like I agree with you in the sense that it's dirty in the sense of like, just give the credit, but at the same time, if they're releasing a song together, you know, behind the scenes there's all these things going on where like obviously there wouldn't like the thing is, okay, here's what I think about any other artist that releases an album with appearing to have no guest features or get features. I think it's like one of those things where they have a mutual agreement with the other artist, with the feature artist being like, oh, I probably won't put you in the title of the track, but you'll be in there, but you know, big love to you, big love to everything you do, etc. They get paid, obviously, whatever. It's like everyone knows with features that comes a charge, etc. Like they have a mutual agreement to be like, yeah, dude, it's fine, all good, it's your album, do whatever, right? But Kanye, bro, I feel like this guy, he probably told him, yeah, like he's one of those guys who'd be like, yeah, your name will be on the album, because at the end of the day, when Kanye drops an album, it's what everyone will talk about, right? It's like all eyes on that, and then to have your name alongside it is like a huge thing, right? But the way Kanye goes about his business, bro, he probably tells people, yeah, don't worry, and then later on just does something else completely different. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to say that he's a nutjob or a wacko, because he probably is going through some serious shit, like bipolar disorder or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. I do think it's a bit like schemy, but what do you reckon, Kev?
No, I think he did it for a real reason, because you know how both Donda and CLB were hyped for this year for the drop. So I do think that Kanye planned it out to kind of be like, because he released his album first, to kind of have that sense of mystery. So all the Kanye fans will be like, oh, is this all Kanye? No features on there. So they want them to listen to the whole thing to know which feature artists are on there. I guess it can work as in a positive note, where everyone's like, oh, like, you know, damn, I want to listen to every single song. But also other people who are just like, oh, I just see through the list. Oh, no features. I'm not a Kanye fan. I'm not going to listen to it.
Yeah, so 100%, right?
Yeah, it's like both. But I feel like Kanye did attack it in that way, where he wanted it to be mysterious.
Yeah, but like I feel like that works when you have already established like an amazing foundation for yourself to be like, I am Kanye West. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, it's a commercial, like music is heavily commercialized. There's no two ways about it, right? In the sense that money is everything in music. So yeah, you're right. Like he got to a level where, you know, he's a king. You can't deny it. He is a king, right? So he's a king. So he can do whatever he wants at the end of the day. But yeah, it's pretty interesting because I know some albums where, you know, some songs don't have any features listed on it and it comes up for like as a surprise, and then other songs do have features listed on it. But yeah, you're right. Like as a casual, I'm looking through it, I'm like, oh, no features. Okay, let's see what's up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that invested into it. Yeah.
Dude, so talking about that, one thing I've been doing a lot more is like being honest. Like I'm like honest. Being honest is actually really, really powerful. Like if you're honest, like dude, sometimes I'll talk to someone, and then like after 10 minutes of catching up, I'm like, I don't know what to talk about now. and then it's awkward for a sec, but then they start bringing things up to talk about, and they reignite the conversation. And after I run out of things to talk about, I'm like, actually, I don't know. I've ran out of stuff to talk about again. I was like, all right, let's wrap it up.
I'll take the mic off you after. Kevin, how you been? Like, I told you to potentially come through with anything that you might want to discuss about or mention or talk about. Is there anything that's on your chest burning? Otherwise, we'll move on to another topic. Otherwise,
you guys have probably heard about it. NFTs.
Interesting. All right.
Have we heard about it, Andy? I don't know. We've literally
purchased it as well.
Really? What NFTs, Kev? Let's dig into this.
Have you guys been on OpenSea and like having a look at like projects? And yeah, I've actually done some research, and I haven't bought into any yet, but it's actually captured my mind. And like I'm like, damn, like I hear people like spending $1,000 on this project, and then the next day or a week later, it's like worth 100K. But obviously, it's not as like have you heard about the Bored Ape Project? Yeah, so one of them, not my mate, but a mate of my mate, he has a mutated ape token NFT, but he doesn't know how much it's worth, but because he doesn't know how much the guy bought it for. But the floor price around there was around 12K. Wow. So
see, I did see that. Those looked interesting. See, the whole thing for me is I'm seeing so many NFTs, right? And like you can do your research and everything, but from what I want to know, so the research that you've gathered, because I haven't looked into much. Like we've talked about NFTs a lot we started it like maybe 20 episodes ago that we started talking about it, the whole concept behind it, and now it's ramped up a lot. Like in that space when we first started talking about it to like now, you've seen new projects come out and everything. We talked about it like a few episodes ago. Coca-Cola entered the NFT space. They had a project that they released. You're seeing Logan Paul spending hundreds and thousands of dollars to $1 million. You're seeing the Ape Project. Steph Curry. Steph
Curry from the NBA, Golden State Warriors. He bought a Bored Ape Project for $180,000.
There's those ones that like have been essentially established in the sense that the Bored Ape is well known now, right? Like if you own a Bored Ape, like you're going to be set. But in saying that, also the floor price increases because it's highly popular. So like, I don't know, like it's just such a new thing for me where like what forms of research do you do to enter a new project? Do you just like essentially hedge your bets on one and just like fingers crossed and hope that project takes off? Or do you just buy something that looks cool? I saw some sushi NFTs or some shit. I saw a board. I was looking at one that was like barely anything to buy. It was like a bored soccer monkey or something. And I was like, you know, that looks pretty cool. I might buy that, but like it was nothing. I don't know how it works. So like you got to talk me through it. What research have you done? What would incline you to buy one? Like, is there like something in the project in terms of the development of the project which makes it more enticing than others? Because I'll be honest, when I look at an NFT, I just see a picture, bro.
A JPEG photo.
Yeah, bro. Talk to me.
Yeah. So I've done research in the sense that like it's essentially like stocks and like NFTs and like cryptocurrency when you purchase and get buy-in, right? If the project already blew up, like, you know, skyrocketed at high value, it's already too late. You buy into it, there's a high chance they're going to lose money. So you kind of buy in early, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news, in the sense that NFTs as well. So like when you do want to start a project early, you have to kind of think about what future implications it has and what are the benefits if this can even blow up, because you can either lose a lot of money or make a lot of money doing this. It's even riskier than cryptocurrency and like shares like 10, 20 times fold, because it's non-tangible. Like that. Yeah. Like the perceived value is like is about other people trying to buy into it, and if no one wants to buy it, then the value of it won't be high.
So I'll quickly jut in because it's non-tangible, but it's also tangible. At the end of the day, you come out with a digital asset, right? But you said, because I don't know, that's why I'm asking. You said, you do your research on a few of the projects and see if they're going to blow up or not. But like, oh, this is what you said. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. You said, look at the future implications of a project and anything. To my knowledge, all these projects, they're just a JPEG file. What future implication? Like, I generally don't know. Talk to me.
No. So NFTs, because in the blockchain, right? They've actually these JPEG photos, it's not just a photo. Like some of these photos can actually evolve, like, kind of like the Bored Ape Project. So when they first started, actually, I believe they like released up to only $20,000 of these Bored Ape projects, and then I think half a year later they released and evolved it into mutant apes. So they can actually, so you have to buy like some serum or something from another NFT, and then you combine them together, and the ape turns into a mutated ape. So that's what it means by future implications, what they can actually do. NFTs is also a game as well, there's a horse betting game on that NFT. Like you buy into a horse that I've heard that can be sold for $50,000, like really fast. It has like stats like speed, jumping, health of it. They can like breed. Yeah. So it's actually like a game. So that's what I mean by future implications. Like NFTs can actually, there's another world of it. It's not just the photo, what everyone thinks it is. But I do see the other part of it where it's like you're putting so much money into just like such a photo, but there's actually also extra added stuff that you don't even know yet, and they're still adding more and more and more.
Like you mentioned the sporting one, Andy and I we talked about that the other week, didn't we, Andy? Like the sporting, how like NFTs could evolve the future of like online betting and sporting and everything, right? And then we talked about last week, we talked about Habbo. Remember Habbo? And you could buy your own like NFT avatar. I don't know. Andy, what do you reckon?
Dude, there's this game called Axie Infinity. It's like an NFT game. And apparently streamers or just everyday players are making $1,500 a month.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yep.
How do they get paid? I heard there's like, maybe what I've heard and research is you can join guilds or clans, and if the clans do well, the game pays the clan, and the clan distributes it to the clan members. Maybe how do you earn $1,500 a month in Ethereum in that game, Kev?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I didn't do too much research about Axie Infinity, but I've heard about that game. But I've researched other games as well. There's another one, I can't remember what it was called, but it's essentially like Pokemon Go, and it's like connected to your phone. And then, how in Pokemon Go, you walk around, you find Pokemon. This new other game, there's like spots where there's like Ethereum, like 0.00001 of it, like it's like 10 cents worth of Ethereum. Then you walk over to it and you pick it up. Yeah. So you get money playing the game. And I do think it's the future of the gaming because you play to earn, right? And because when people pay low, you're like wasting your whole time. You're not going to become a pro. You pretty much just wasted like an hour of your time playing this game. But whereas if it's like an NFT game, you can actually play to earn money. So even you put time into it, you're earning money. So it was really interesting though. I mean, I do believe it's still very, very fresh. And even though it's gathered a lot of hype, it's nowhere near what it could be yet. But I do think the projects that are popular now won't be popular in a year time. Something else will come up. Like those apes that people bought for $180,000, they're going to lose their money. That's not going to be $1 million anymore, and it's going to be worth like maybe 10K, 5K, maybe might be more because it's now a legacy, NFT. But it can go both ways. It's such a high risk thing to get into yet, but it's very, very interesting to learn now because I do think in like 5 years' time, this thing will actually pop off in that sense where it can be anything. And to add that as well, Tory Lanez. So he actually got into NFTs as well. He actually he believes that it's going to be a game changer for new artists because if artists that are new and then people who have like their fans, they can own the NFT of that artist, and that rapper or artist becomes popular, then the fans make money with the artist, and that's what Tory Lanez did. I think he sold 1 million copies of his album for $1 each, and then it went up in price.
How much is it worth now?
I'm not too sure, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, while you're searching that up, Kev, two things. One, guys, I'm saving up. I want to get a CryptoPunk. I want to get one CryptoPunk. That's a plan. I don't know how long it's going to take to save up. It might take forever, but I want a CryptoPunk. Hopefully, it drops in price. Jay-Z has a CryptoPunk. So, yeah. Two, I think the future is going to be like, everything's going to be like you pay for what you use. Sort of like, unlike Netflix where you sort of pay $30 each month, the future is going to be you pay for each second you watch. Every second you watch a TV show, you'll pay like 0.01 cent, and that'll go to the creator. Similar to like how storage works. Right now, there's like these cloud crypto projects where I could put my computer or my NAS or my hard drive up to the cloud, and I get paid when people store things into it. And the people who store things to it, they pay to store, and it's this supply-demand type of thing where if there's a lot of storage, then it's going to be cheaper for the people to store their items on, but the people who are like storing out their things, they're going to pay a little amount. And I think that's going to be the future where you pay for everything you do and you also get paid for everything you do.
Okay, yeah, so for Tory Lanez album, he sold 1 million copies in 0.57 seconds for $1 each. A week, 2 weeks later, it was worth $24 each.
Whoa!
And that was 24 days ago. So people believe the album is going to increase in value. You know, Tory Lanez makes money on top, and his fans made money on top of it.
Can you get the album on Spotify? Can you listen to it on Spotify, or is it exclusive?
I'm not too sure how that is there. It's called When It's Dark, I think that's the album.
Oh, When It's Dark. Oh, wow.
Limited edition digital album.
That's interesting because we also talked about it as well, Andy, where we both said that NFTs can literally change the future of music forever. Because Spotify has had a monopoly on music for a long time. And only recently Amazon Music, Apple Music, all these other like small streaming services started popping up as well, right? And Apple was smart to release a music streaming service because of their ecosystem that they have. Everything's all interconnected. It's easier for everyone to have Apple, right? So they've monopolized the market, right? I'd say Apple, Amazon, Spotify. I'd say Spotify is still the biggest, but I'd say those are the three monopolies in the market, right? This changes everything because you can buy an NFT for an NFT album of your favorite artist, and it won't be on these streaming sites. You will own that. Only you will own that, and no one else will own it. Because these artists make money off the number of times that you stream their music on your devices. Well, you own the NFT. It's like I still buy some CDs every now and then. I have like maybe 4 CDs of artists I really like, and I'll buy their CDs, right? This is easier. Not many people own a CD player anymore. You can just buy an NFT, and it changes everything because they'll be listening to that song on the NFT. Yeah, like I'd say the resale value, like you said, Kevin, 24 days ago, now it's $24. It does depend on the artist, I'd say. And the one thing that Spotify still has going is the number of concurrent streams it runs for these artists, that artists continue to make money per stream, right? But at the same time, they're still going to be releasing money on Spotify. If anything, you could see musicians, artists go to another level in terms of their wealth. Drake could become a very, 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 very rich man. You know what I'm trying to say, in the sense that they'll release it both. They'll release it streaming and they'll release an NFT. And Drake can price if Drake releases an album on NFT, he can price it at $100,000 and it'll sell out. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's essentially like a stock for the artist. Because us as fans want to invest in their favorite artists, and we're giving them money for hopefully to make money as well.
Bro, this is our fault, bro. This is our fault. We're contributing to capitalism. We're making them get richer. We're widening the gap in society as it is. It's our fault just wanting to consume that music, Damn. Damn, bro. I'll keep listening on Spotify. In saying that, if my favorite artist, if Dave releases an NFT, I will go heavens above to try and buy an NFT, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, as it is, I spent a lot of money on just a special merch line that, my artist, he released. So it's one of those things, yeah, inevitably, we say that we don't want to contribute to that wealth, but at the end of the day, we always.
When it comes to your favorite, you will 100% do it. And yeah, I do say that as well. If Dave does do it, you will 100% buy it. Nah, but he's good. I've been listening to him recently as well.
Yeah, I hate it.
Definitely missed out previously, but nah. Finally jumped on the hype train.
It's so good. But Andy, yeah, I'm keen. Have you got your eyes on any CryptoPunks at the moment, or is it just like you're having a gaze, having a gander, browse?
Dude, I was like watching the market for like the longest time when it was like the floor price was 20 ETH. 25 ETH, and I sort of knew what was worth. There was like the one with the hoodies were worth like, I don't know, 100 ETH. The ones that had these sort of cyborg, so like I knew the prices, and then all of a sudden it went from 20 ETH to 100 ETH, 140 ETH, and everything's whack now. So I think I'm just gonna wait for the floor price to drop and buy one. But talking about, dude, two things. One, there might be a chance we don't even have a like global financial crisis. Like maybe like with all this capitalism, all money, everyone's spending money, the money is going into pockets of these rappers, they're spending money. Maybe if all this inflation is going somewhere and it's going into this VR world. And secondly, I think when the VR world comes out, what's going to happen is when you have like a limited edition, 1 of 1,000, I don't know, Drake's single. He only released 1,000 NFTs, and each one is like 100,000 each, as you said, Krishn. So if you have it, and it costed 100,000, but now it's worth $1 million because it's so popular. You go into the VR world, you have the song, you're playing in your house, you pick up some chick, and you're, hey, do you want to come back to my house and listen to Drake's limited edition 1 out of 1,000 song? They come into your house, they're listening to it, and you can't listen to it anywhere else, so you can pay people to come to your house and listen to it. Like that's gonna happen, I reckon. Like that's how like music is gonna become like limited edition. I don't know, now I'm just rambling.
You're going into the world of Ready Player One. You know what we should do, boys? I reckon we should, right here, right now, if we started an NFT regulation organization for Australia, we'd be rich. We'd actually be. I'm not even kidding right now. You can laugh all you want, but if we start the first NFT regulator within Australia, jeez. Because there's no regulations. You can do whatever you want. You can charge whatever you want. You can own however many you want. You can do whatever you want. Like with Bitcoin, like cryptocurrency is different. I'd say cryptocurrencies and NFTs, although they're aligned in the sense that you purchase NFTs with cryptocurrency, right? But they're still different. The markets are still quite different. If we start a Australian regulator, because there's no point, we can never go international, but if we start an Australian regulation, oh, boys, I'm telling you, we'd be swimming. We'd be swimming.
Definitely. Because NFTs and stuff right now is so unregulated. You know, you never know. Like, there's some people might be money laundering doing this, trying to hide their money. You know, there's big money in here. That's
a shout. That's a shout.
Normal art. Have you heard about the theory that normal art in museums and stuff? You know why they price so high? And like, you know, all the rich people, all the gangsters, you know, mafias have art. So they can money launder. That's like a big theory there as well. And you know, NFT is digital art, so it's like aligned in that same world as well.
That's very interesting. That's actually I never thought about it in the sense that there's a lot of new risks for AML, sanctions, regulations, etc. as well. But it'd be interesting to see how we could possibly try and start it. Like, how do you go about starting a regulation? Like, how do you become a regulatory body? You know what I mean? Because you need to operate within the laws of the Australian government, so you need to be an Australian government approved body. To do that, you probably need to be working closely with the government. So,
but you'll be making big money.
And the thing is, because we'd be the ones starting, we'd be lobbying and starting all these laws, just like whatever at the start just benefits us, like at that time, like whatever we held or whatever, would be corrupt as hell, bro. Would be facilitating the money laundering that's going on.
Dude, like talking about like regulation, I'm looking back. So Logan Paul, when he did like the box break for his Pokemons, he released these NFTs, sold them for 1 ETH each. They've all gone down in value. They're all like worthless now. And I think that's why probably need regulations. But he's coming up with this new crypto company, CryptoZoo, where it's like you buy an egg and it hatches and you get an animal. So it's like CryptoPunks your eggs, but you get animals. But like, yeah, someone probably needs to regulate it.
See, when you said CryptoZoo, you say you buy an egg, it hatches, it becomes an animal. That just sounds like an NFT to me. So like, see what I mean?
Yeah,
There's no
it's NFT. Yeah.
There's no. Oh, I thought you said crypto. Is it a crypto or is it?
It's like, you know how CryptoPunks are like NFTs? Crypto monkeys or like cryptos.
Got you. Sorry, I thought it was a cryptocurrency. I read somewhere that it was a cryptocurrency. I think I got it all wrong. But yeah, there still needs to be a very big border between the two. Like it needs to be like a big wall of a border. But yeah, like the thing is, if you become an influencer, you can just release whatever the fuck you want, and people will buy it at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But yeah, it can go down, and at the end of the day, who's the one running to the banks? The YouTubers, and what happens? FaZe K gets kicked out of FaZe Clan. You know what I mean? So,
like, some industry regulated. Like, there's a lot of people that are going to make a lot of money, and there's also a lot of people that are going to lose a lot of money because people can just do rug pulls, like kind of how like FaZe K's crypto. So like jumping onto new projects, you gotta like be careful that these stuff don't happen, but obviously you can't control that.
And so, at the end of the day, like as the children of first generation migrants, the one thing that we're always taught, or the thing that we're always taught when we move to a new country, is financial stability and all that, and invest in property, because it's property is one of those things where no matter what anyone says, in my opinion, no matter what anyone says, it's like, oh yeah, it's good, but you can make money elsewhere, like more money elsewhere. You definitely can, but there's no denying that property is property. You know what I mean? Property is property. It's safe. It's the good way to go. And yeah, like the one thing that we were taught is financial stability, maintaining yet growing your wealth at a steady rate to make sure that you can provide for your family, etc. But it's interesting because the world's changing. You either dive headfirst into this or watch from a corner. Like I'm kind of just watching from a corner right now, just watching it all unfold, and just like, do I dive head? I don't think I'm ever going to dive headfirst into it, but I can appreciate what's going around and around, you know what I mean? But yeah, Andy, I want to see you dive headfirst into it just so I can continue watching from the side. I want to see that CryptoPunk, bro. I want to be like, yeah, bro, my friend has a CryptoPunk. Like, those memes of that meme of like a guy shouting into a girl's ear at like at a random bar or a pub or a club or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, I have crypto, or like, and then she's like, looks so disinterested. Yeah, my friend Andy has a CryptoPunk. Yeah, it's good. It's worth like 1,000 euro. Do it, bro.
I like the meme where I sent this to Krishn. It's like a meme of Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet in Titanic. How like he shows her like a book of his drawings, but like the current meme is it's a book of your NFTs. You're showing girls, hey, look at my NFT collection.
Exactly. That's you in the future, bro. Manifest it. Say it right now. Oh, actually, you'll have your CryptoPunk. Kevin will have the NFTs, bro. Kevin's gonna have, those old booklets that you used to have, like with pirated CDs inside it, and you'd open it up, you'd have like The Incredibles or whatever. Those old, back in those days, the pirated DVD booklet. Bro, it's just Kevin's booklet of the NFTs now, bro. He goes, see this one here? That's a Bored Ape.
Maybe not anytime in the now, but yeah, definitely want to get into them after I understand a bit more and wait till market kind of stabilize a bit, because it's too much risk right now. Because even crypto itself, the currency used to purchasing the NFTs, is like not stable. Ethereum is going up, going down, going up, going down, and so far right now, because Ethereum is going higher, NFT prices are actually dropping because you need the Ethereum to purchase NFTs. So of course, Ethereum is going to go up in value because now it's more higher in demand.
And as a result,
NFTs prices drop down. Yeah.
And so like,
so you got to wait a bit.
it's funny you mentioned that, because like I was that same one day, I was like looking through OpenSea, I was checking it all, and then I messaged Andy. I'm like, I'm really contemplating like putting like $10,000 to $20,000 into ETH like right now. Like, that crypto drop that we had like a few months ago. I honestly, hand on my heart, regret not putting like 30K into ETH just because of, NFTs and all that, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's a weird seesaw that we're seeing right now, isn't it? Because there's no stability, there's no knowing what happens. So it's like NFT demand is like probably up there. ETH could be there, but like bang. Yeah, what can you do?
My initial strategy was stock up on NFT, and then when you have, stock up on Ethereum, and then when you have a lot of Ethereum, put the Ethereum into like an NFT, so you get double appreciation. The NFT is going to appreciate, but then the value of ETH is going to appreciate. That was the initial goal, but like I couldn't save up 20 ETH fast enough to get a CryptoPunk before it blew up. But yeah.
You know, there's a new crypto, because you know how Ethereum right now is used on OpenSea. Have you heard about Solana?
Yeah, I've heard of Solana.
Yeah, it went up in price like crazy because when you buy NFTs, have you heard about the gas fee? So that's the fee that you have to pay when purchasing NFT or even like moving like Ethereum, right? You're in the blockchain, and it costs like $100-$200. For Solana, apparently it's really really small amount. It's like 0.000005, which is like a couple of dollars.
Dude, I was trying to transfer $500 from one exchange to another exchange, and through the Ethereum blockchain, guess how much the fee was? $50 to transfer like $500. $50 transfer fee.
Because it's so expensive, like I believe like Solana and stuff are going to overtake it soon, unless Ethereum changes over to their new work of stake. Because right now it is
I was going to say at the beginning of the year, I just bought a bunch of coins like Solana, OGN, XRP, Philcoin. Bought a bunch of coins, and like some of them are green, some of them are still red. I bought a bunch of like Shiba coins, Akita coins, and I think initially my gut feeling, my sort of fear was like, all right, once it goes green, just sell it and get rid of it. But I've got a new theory. I think I'm not going to sell anything. I'm just going to hold it forever. Like I think people make the mistake of selling when they make 200% return, 300% return. But like the people who make the most money, they just hold it forever. And that's when you get the bought at $1 and now it's worth like $1,000, like Amazon or Apple. And that's what Warren Buffett does. And that's where the 1 out of 10 shit coins you bought will make you not only return on the 9 other shit coins, but you'll make like an exponential return on the initial investment. But a lot of people make the mistake of, oh shit, I'm 300% up, let's sell. So hopefully, I don't know, we'll see if my theory pans out.
Yeah, like just shove your money into like heaps of them and just be like, you know what? Whatever happens, one blows up. That's all you need. You just need one to blow up and then...
And the tough part is holding and not selling that one when it blows up because it's tough. Yeah. Like, dude, some of these are like up to 300%. I'm like, should I just sell? I don't even know what this coin does. Like AVAX. My AVAX, I put in like 500. It's worth 1,500. I don't know what it does, but...
How much Solana do you have right now?
Let's see. Let me see.
See, in the meantime, while you search it up, see, Kev, you mentioned that there's fees transferring in between NFTs, or there's a fee associated with purchasing it, and that's where Solana comes in. See, that's where you need the regulation, because they could just do whatever. But if you think about it more so that there's like, the way I think about it, if you're purchasing something in AUD and then suddenly there's a fee in USD, it's kind of just a bit like, bro, how can you do that? Like, that's not fair at all, because you're essentially just getting charged more based on charging USD fee because the currency is stronger, you know what I mean? So the regulation really needs to be imposed there and saying, I reckon just one, like a stipulated fee in one crypto as opposed to just having a Solana. But in saying that, I think I'm going to go and put like 1,500 to Solana as soon as this podcast is finished. I'm not going to lie. Like I heard about it before you mentioned it, but I didn't know it was like, using the fee conversion. I don't know. I'll talk to you after. I'll talk to you after this.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because I was definitely researching into all this, and like getting into NFTs right now is such a high cost to enter, as a high cost barrier to enter, because gas fees are crazy. Like you're purchasing, like you're trying to get into to buy Ethereum and trying to transfer buying an NFT, you have to pay $150 in fees. So that's why you're like, damn, like all that money just goes like that, like the $150. And in Solana, that's actually it's like a competitor of Ethereum now, because it's a proof of stake. It's a different version of like Ethereum and Bitcoin, where previously it was a proof of work. Like that's why they're so expensive trying to transfer over. So Solana, I do think will probably overtake Ethereum maybe in the future because of cheaper fees.
Andy, how much?
It's so funny seeing this different side of Kev where he's like super analytical. When he said proof of stake, I was like, damn, all right, he knows his stuff. So with gas fees, I know things like ADA, things like DOT, things like AVAX, they're all like Ethereum competitors. So I got into all those pretty early. Solana looks like it's so high right now. It's like $100, and it's like at its peak. So I don't know if I would get into it. And I also said, hey, I need to stop buying all these random coins I don't know about. So I'm sticking to Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, DOT. Those are the 4 main ones. I'm going to just buy, sell when it's high, sell a bit, buy more when it's at the bottom, and just accumulate those, buy and sell. And all the other 20 coins I bought, just like hold them till I die. So we'll see. But other than that, dude, what's your thoughts on like business class? Like I can't imagine, because business class is like 3 times more expensive than economy. Like economy might be like $100, or like we'll make something more obvious. Like if you're flying to Asia, it'll cost $400 for economy. But for business, it's $2,500. It's the same plane. But like I do, like I'm not gonna like shoot myself in the foot and say I'm never gonna fly business. But like that's pretty crazy, isn't it? Have you? Yeah. What's your thoughts on business class?
Kev, I think you've traveled business class.
No, I haven't. I've never.
Oh, you haven't? Personally, I don't think I could.
Yeah.
But in saying that, if I get to a point where I am, yeah. But I'd only do so on the long haul flights, Australia to London, no stop, or Australia to, because at the end of the day, I'm 6 foot. I literally hate the leg room in front of me. In flights, whenever I got like sit on a flight, like when I went to Japan earlier on last year, because it was a kind of a time where it's like COVID, no one really knew what COVID was. It was all there. There's a lot of spare room on the flight. So I just found like, you know how there's sometimes sets of 3 on the window? I just found a set of 3 for myself at the back, and I just sat down in there. Like I asked the flight attendant, of course, and that's my own business class. You know what I mean? I made my own business class in the set of 3 back there. But I can't do that. I can't.
I remember flying to America, and it was like during COVID time or something, or just before, and I got lucky. 3 rows, and I'll just put up the seats and lie down. I'll lie down on the 3 seats, and I was like, damn, like how lucky am I?
It felt like Christmas, didn't it? Like that was an amazing feeling, because you don't get that, especially on a flight to America. You don't get those free seats. So it was kind of like, bro, you make the most out of it, dude. I personally couldn't fly business class. I just can't see me doing it. But in saying that, it's not something I wouldn't try. You know what I mean? Like wouldn't want to try.
I don't think business class is like worth it, but it was not something I wouldn't say no to if I do get the chance and I have the money to. Like I've asked my dad as well. Like my mum, she travels all the time. She doesn't travel in business class. My dad doesn't travel in business class. They've only done it like once or twice. They all just fly economy. Yeah.
You know what? Because at the end of the day, like, I just can't see the value in it. Like, you don't get much out of it as opposed to the people that are sitting in. Unless I have a chef right next to me that's like preparing some godly sort of foods, and like, you know, he's got like a whole station there, and I'm getting pampered as hell. I can't do it, dude. Like I just can't. Like I'm gonna be paying thousands of dollars more to sit on the same plane, maybe get some more extra leg room. You know what I mean? And like a comfy little seat. And I don't know. I just can't see. I genuinely just can't see it. But at the same time, like,
your company pays for it. Yeah.
And then there's first class. First class is like, dude, if economy is 500, first class is like 2,000. I mean, business class is 2,000. First class is like 10,000. Literally $10,000 for the same plane that people pay 500. But one argument I see is like, there's this young entrepreneur. He says that he goes on business class because he wants to feel refreshed when he lands into the country for his business meeting, and he wants to give his clients the best sort of a service possible. So he flies business.
Tell him get some sleep on the plane, yeah.
But you know what? I think it's worth it. Private jet, boys. Private jet. We're gonna get a private jet, and then I think that give it 10 years. 10 years we'll be flying around in a private jet, and I think that's a cool experience.
You know what it is though? I think PJ's private jets are a lot more accessible and something that's like deemed of a higher, like it's a lot more accessible in America. America's huge. How many states in America? I don't know how many states there are, but it's huge, right? There's airports everywhere, there's landing ports everywhere. All the celebrities in America get private jets because it's literally so accessible. Whereas here, you just got bloody Sydney Airport, Brisbane, Melbourne, whatever, and that's it. That's all you can fly to. You can get like, you can become a pilot and like have your own plane and stuff, but like you can only land in like those small airports. But like, like, you know what I mean? Like in the sense that private jets are held in a higher regard in American stuff. Whereas over here, you can get away with not using a private jet all the time. Whereas over there, it's like, but I can see like 100%, bro. Private jet, it's your own jet. Like you just go wherever you want. But you know what I mean? Like in America, it's like easier to access and one of those things where it's, you see all the celebrities doing it.
What about getting a yacht, Andy?
Yacht, I think like that's like super next level. So with the private jet, that's like efficient. Like if you're flying like every month, twice a month, 3 times a month, you save so much time, you get privacy, there's like no paparazzi, it's just worth it because your time is so valuable. But yacht, it's like, just like you have this money, you buy something crazy, you spend 20,000 a month just to like keep it docked, and then every time you bring it out, you spend $1,000 on fuel, you spend like another $2,000 just having it operating. Like that's like next level money, I reckon. Yeah, that'll be cool though.
Like eight figures and shit.
Yeah, dude, with the CryptoPunks, sometimes you see, since everything's public, you always see CryptoPunks getting sold for like 1 Ethereum, for like 0.01 Ethereum. And then you go to the comments, because there's this like Twitter bot that posts all these sales, and everyone's like money laundering, it's hiding from the IRS. So that's something they do apparently. They buy it for like 100 Ethereum and they sell it to themselves to a different wallet for like 0.01 Ethereum. And I don't know how that works, but you then tax evade. I don't know.
Yeah, there's so many things unregulated.
Dude, there's this thing called Pancake Swap. There's all these weird things like Pancake Swap, Sushi Swap, all these weird crypto things. But you could transfer your crypto into Pancake Swap and trade there, and no one knows. When you trade and buy things on Binance, you did the KYC where they have your details, they have your passport, so the ATO knows what's going on. But when you transfer your coins into Pancake Swap, it's like they don't see anything. Yeah,
I think that's the whole point of cryptocurrency, in the sense that, you know, pushing towards a decentralized form of internet currency, under the radar, new world order, government doesn't know what I'm doing, I don't want anyone to know what I'm doing, kind of shifty, kind of anti-money, kind of money laundering. And it's just this, boys, I'm telling you right now, what would we name our regulatory body? We've got to name it something. Got to think of like a funny, cool name to name our regulatory body. It'd be funny, but yeah, man, this is why. Like, the thing is, having a regulatory body goes against everything that these crypto NFTs stand for. Decentralization. And it's just us being like, yeah, what now? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, nah, I didn't think so. It's too regulated.
Or nightclub. Ask them for enter.
Before you enter, it's like, yeah, yeah, you could.
What do we could?
We've got to think of a name.
I was going to say, solid episode. Any other things you wanted to talk about, or anything on your mind, Kevin, before we wrap things up? This is a solid episode. Time flew by. Like, when the 50-minute mark came, I was like, usually we're done at 50, but it was like just in the middle of it. Now we're sort of near done, but anything you wanted to bring up before we wrap things up, Kev?
No, I think we talked about a lot of stuff that, you know, that I've been doing recently as well, you know, in NFTs, you know, going about just life, work as well. No, it was good. It's good having a chat with you guys. Haven't had a chat with you guys, both of you guys, in like a long time. You know, we've been locked down. No, having me, you know, I enjoyed it.
After this, after we film this episode, we'll kick it for a bit. I want to hear about the property stuff you've been telling me before, and all those different things. We'll leave that for the post podcast. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, Kev. I really appreciate you as a friend. Really appreciate you being there since day one. We really appreciate all the support. Thanks so much for joining. Krishn, you can wrap it up.
yeah, echoing on episode 51. Thank you guys so much for listening as well. Our TikTok is getting a little bit more support. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok, like our stuff. It's all free. We're not going to charge you to subscribe. Please subscribe. But yeah, like, thank you so much, Kevin, for agreeing to come on. I'm going to force you to come on again in the near future because you have nothing to do on the weekends. It's lockdown. Don't give me an excuse. But yeah, look, thank you so much.
I'll definitely again next, like whenever possible again.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna make you anyway. Thank you guys for listening. Episode 51.
Thanks, Krishn. Thanks, Andy.
Peace, guys.